It's thinking maybe kind of sort of. Says we're live, man.
Yeah, it says we are live. We'll just
We
give it a
are
couple seconds.
live. Just not in
Usually,
Las Vegas, but we're live.
yeah, usually it takes a couple of seconds to really kick off. All
Yeah, I
right,
have some people here.
how you doing, brother?
Good, man. How's things over there in Tejas?
Oh man, it's good. I mean, a little cool in the mornings, and then it's warming up in the afternoons. I think it was like 90 today, something like that, 90 something. So not too bad. Sure, it's
Yeah, we're
warmer in your
finally.
area.
Yeah, we're finally catching some weather breaks too, man. I can finally get back out of the mountain bike because it's been, by 9 a.m. it's 105.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. And that is the thing about there, and I've been there plenty of times, but you kind of got that dry heat, and here we've got that sticky, humid sometimes.
Yeah, swamp ass heat.
Yeah, you walk outside and you feel like a freaking wash rag.
Yeah,
But yeah, let's go ahead and kick it off. We've got some usuals in here, some new ones. Yep, Daniel, we got the CZ Life. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, and someone was saying Harry Holsters, yeah, he's finally making the lefties, for the lefties because they were bitching about them forever. So the singleton does come in the left or the right. You can flip it around. So all you
all you
lefties can.
wrong-handed people.
Yep. Wrong-handed people. Yep, they can grab them some holsters. They do work very well. So, and if you want a Harry's holsters, you can use my code Big Johnson, capital B, capital J, all smashed together, save you some bucks. Let me mute this phone because people are already texting me, asking me questions. All right, so we'll go ahead and kick it off. What did you think about the shit show last night?
I bought this here 6-pack of Guinness, and I only made it through two of them, I think, because if I'd have kept drinking, I'd have thrown my damn bottle at the TV.
Man, it
It's
was,
just a train wreck, man. I mean,
yeah,
and I mean, no matter which side of the political aisle you're on, I like. Don't get me wrong. I always told my wife, I'm all the second I knew Trump was going to win the first time was when he said to the crowd, he says, "You know what we're going to tell those people? We're going to tell them to go fuck themselves."
yeah,
I was like, he's going to be the next president because people are so pissed off right now.
yeah,
And don't get me, the eighth grader in me loves it. But last night, man, I mean, you're watching, a 47-year politician who's a dirtbag in my mind, but the sitting president basically just act like 10-year-olds on
yeah,
stage, man. It was,
yeah.
uh,
Yeah, it was basically, Trump had to come out being the pit bull because Mike Wallace, I mean, he's got a history, and I think he's a registered Democrat, which, it is what it is. But I know that he wanted to try to keep it as even as possible. But the questions that he was asking Trump, like three or four big hitting questions, he asked
yeah,
Trump, and then he didn't ask Biden the same question. So
no, huge disparity in
yeah,
questions. And I don't know if you saw that tweet that I said, breaking news just in, Biden throws his hat in the presidential race after Chris Wallace loses, first presidential debate.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean it was definitely a shitstorm. I was watching it and like you said, and I was even thinking, I'm like, man, this is like two eighth graders on the playground arguing about their dad can
oh,
beat up,
right.
whose dad can beat up the other dad. But, that's what it is. We got so much stuff going on right now, and it seemed like Trump was always on the defense trying to say, hey, I didn't do that or I didn't say that. And if you look at the fact checks, a lot of them, that Biden claimed against Trump wasn't correct. So it is what it is. But I don't know. I think the people that are, still wishy washy and don't know who they're going to pick, I think the people that already knew who they were going to pick, they're still going to pick who they're going to pick.
I,
I don't think that changed anything. But
I don't think there's wishy-washy people, dude.
yeah,
I have not met one person that has not had their mind made up for 3 years.
yeah, yeah. I
It's
think,
you literally are left with at this point the lesser of two evils, pretty much.
yeah.
You have a
I mean,
guy that's kind of a braggart, loudmouth, that's fairly three-quarters friendly to the Second Amendment, or you have a guy who's got a proven racist history, saying weird things, and literally wants to take all your guns away.
yeah.
That's your choice.
And sniffs people.
It's a
So
sniffer. He's a child sniffer. Yeah.
yeah, that's creepy. But
Mhm.
yeah, I wouldn't want him anywhere around kids. But
I
yeah,
will say this though, he I don't understand how he made it through the debate based on watching him the past couple months. Like, he didn't do all. He had a few like where he forgot his words and was saying wrong numbers, but he didn't wander off like a your crazy uncle did last
Yeah.
night. So that was concerning to me, because I was like, hey man, he's not doing that bad. I expected him to, do the whole, hey, the roaches on my legs and the hair and the, come on man, the thing. I was expecting some of that and I didn't get it, and I was like, oh crap, this isn't good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you looked, and they caught a picture of it, but you can see a little mic or something right here in his, coming out of his, it's actually clipped in there, and then he had this thing inside. So I don't know what was going on with them, but it was on both sides. It was just really tacky. I mean, I think what they probably needed to do was lock one in a room and lock another one in a room, and away from each other, so they couldn't hear each other, and ask them the question and ask the other person the question, because I had a feeling it was going to turn into a battle royal. I was waiting for Trump to turn into Ric Flair or something, and come off the top rope, because it was pretty crazy.
Well, there'd be a lot less offended people if we brought back dueling.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I agree with Guy comment on this one. When Biden was going on his rants, Trump was interrupting him and taking Biden to a different subject, and he should have just let him go off and let him just crumble, just let him explode on his own. But He didn't give him a chance to, because I was like, okay, Biden's talking. Let's see how many times he screws up, and then Trump would jump in, and I was just like, oh man, hush, let him just, freaking obliterate himself. But
yeah, sometimes you just have to let people bury themselves. It was like the questions when he wouldn't, he's like, Antifa is an idea. It's like, hey, cool. Then who's been burning down buildings for the past 120 days or whatever?
Yeah.
It's, for me, it's tough. It's tough to watch that kind of stuff. And I think it's tough for everybody to watch that kind of stuff, even if you're 100% on one side or the other, because you have an expectation of what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to act, and those, at least I do, having been in the military and having been in law enforcement and just having been in corporate America, I have an expectation of my leaders that they're going to set an example. And I mean, to an extent, I want some back and forth. I want people to go at each other, but at the same time, we've got to be able to have a debate, not an ad hominem or ad hoc attack on each other, right? And point out wrong things, and then where do we go from there? But it was crazy, man. It's crazy.
I totally agree with that. I mean, I was hoping that he would be able to spit out his question, and Trump could answer, and then Biden could answer, and they would get the same type questions or whatever. But that didn't happen. And who knows what the second one's going to be like? It could be another crap storm. Who knows?
Well, it's more of a town hall. But the thing that Trump really did do well, at least from my perspective, was when Biden was talking about COVID, and he was like, healthcare and all this. He's like, well, what about the 380,000 veterans that died because you guys failed to get them healthcare? That means something to me, because I know people that didn't get the help they need, whether it was, medicinal treatment or mental health treatment, and they didn't make it. They lost that battle. So to me, that's a huge thing, because I remember getting messages from guys that I was in with and served with, and it was several times where I'd get a message to say, hey, so-and-so last night. And I'm like, oh crap, man, that's tough. You start getting those time after time from dudes you were in with or you served with, that they just took themselves out because they couldn't take the struggle because they were getting zero help.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel for all of those people. I mean, that's who we should help. That law enforcement, etc., because, that's who we need. I just, I was just really, I was kind of like, really, two grown men are going to do this, and that's exactly what they did. So who knows?
Yeah, it was like a movie sequel, right? The first one was really good. The second one tanked. This is what this is. Yeah. So if we don't find a new plot to the story, November might not be so nice to us.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's true. And if you're looking at gun grabs, I mean, Trump hasn't, he's let us down on the 2A. We know that. Biden and Kamala would be worse. And like I've said in the past, well, I feel really, really bad. I mean, I don't know why Biden's family is putting him through this. I mean, I do know why, and I'll get to it, but it's almost like they're propping him up. Take your nap, we'll wake you up, you go on stage, or we'll shoot you up with something, you go on stage and, do your hour and a half, and then we'll put you back to bed. I feel really bad for, that his family's doing that to him. But I think, and I've said this before, I think that if he wins, he's going to go in, he's probably going to be the president for about a month or so. Then all of a sudden it's going to be either he gets COVID really bad and can't come back or something, and she just steps right in. I think there's something going on there.
He won't last a year before. I mean, he's an older guy.
Yeah.
He's obviously got something going on. So you got two options. He's going to get really sick, or they're going to do the 25th Amendment.
Yeah.
They're going to do, hey, he's senile. Well, yeah, we've known that for 4 years. Thanks for telling us.
Yeah. I don't even think it's going to be a year.
Yeah. And then you get the first, well, I don't know what she claims to be anymore, because if you go back in history, she claims to be Indian, from India. And then she claims something.
Yeah. Her dad, I think her father's from Jamaica and stuff, but who knows? Like I said, I just think I think this whole plot is ultimately to get the first, black lady president in there. And I think this, they're just using him as a stepping stone to do it. And they're propping him up and trying to push this through, but we'll see. Who knows? But all right, well, let's get off of that thing. As far as ammo, are you having any luck or any more luck finding any?
Well, I have to keep secrets, but I got a shipment coming in. But remember, I think it was with KS, the first live stream I ever did.
Yeah.
We were talking about ammo, and he was like, well, how much ammo you got? I was like, 10,000 for every caliber. And he thought I was crazy, and that was about a year ago. And I'm like, stand by, dude. Things are going to get weird.
Yeah.
So lucky enough that I've got some fresh coming in, but I've only had to burn through about 1,000 of each of my calibers, because I was able to find some stuff here and there. And then I know somebody that has a reloading business, but even they're out now because they can't get primers.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's definitely going to get worse. I mean, the prediction is that, it's going to go into the middle of next year. Could be longer.
Oh, at least.
But
at least.
It's definitely a bad situation. I was able to find some, when I'm having, and I've got some, I've got enough, but you can always use more. But 300 blackout, it's like non-existent, subs or supers. And I don't really want the 150 grain. I like the 124 or something like that, or the 110, and then subs. And they're getting kind of difficult to find. And I went to a place today, and they actually had it, and you could get 2 boxes of 300 blackout. Well, I kind of convinced them to do 2 boxes of 124 and then 2 boxes of sub, so the 200 grain. So I got 4 more boxes, but and it was funny. They didn't really rip my head off or anything. It was, I remember when you could get it for like $15 a box, and I got it for $19.99, which wasn't too terribly bad. I put it on Instagram, and a bunch of people were like, "Oh shit, can you go buy me some?" I was like, "Whoa, they're not going to sell it to me." And they're like, "Did they ship it?" And I was like, "I don't know. Here's their telephone number. Call them." So,
Yeah. So what helped me out too is the past couple of weeks I've had to lay low, because I was in some training classes, and I was in a couple of instructor classes like back to back right after that. And a couple of them were at indoor ranges for certain portions of it, because the outdoor stuff is still closed here in Arizona, some of them. So literally every day in there, I would go in and be like, "Oh, hey, I'm out of ammo. I need more." And you have to pay for it, but they would allow you to buy a couple hundred rounds for the course. So every day I would buy more than what I needed, so I could just kind of add to the stockpile. And that was it. Ended up being, I think, it was well over 1,000 rounds that I bought, and they weren't treating us bad. So I mean, the thing that, and you're a supply chain or marketing guy, so you understand this. People are like, people are gouging. Well, yeah, there's people that are gouging, but anytime something like this happens, manufacturers' costs go up for procuring product to make something.
Yep.
So the end seller, right, is going to have to charge the end user, us, more, which is normal, but there are, what was it, like cheaper than dirt, like, oh, $3,000 for a case of 5. They're just ripping you off. But
yeah, and the place I was at today, they were actually willing to sell 1,000 rounds of 5.56 for $750. And I was like, God, man, shit. I remember when that stuff was, less than half that price. But
yeah,
I mean, it is supply and demand, So if you can, if you can get it and people are willing to pay it, I mean, capitalism, they can do what they want, unfortunately.
Yeah, but the cost, I mean, yeah, I think it probably could be sold for less than that, but the cost of procuring the elements to make it are more expensive. But it was what, $350 3 months ago, so probably 556 would be normal. But yeah, I mean, oh hey, let's just make some extra money. And luckily, like the local stores to me, I mean, I shop at AZ Guns out in Chandler, and those dudes, man, they've just been on level. There's other stores that aren't. So they're a smaller shop, they're veteran owned. I stick with the places that I know, even in bad times, are going to treat people right, rather than just say, oh, let's gouge people right now to make some money.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people doing that right now.
Yeah, and I always try to buy local too and support local businesses for sure. Because by the time if you get a really good deal and you add shipping and tax and all this other stuff, you're way over, in some areas, sometimes, you're way over what you could buy it for locally. So it just kind of depends if you can find it and if they have it. But man, 300 blackout is just non-existent. I mean, I'm just not seeing it hardly anywhere.
Exotic caliber, brother.
Well, what's funny
how many times have I said that though?
Yeah, but what's funny is like, I'm finding 6.5, I'm finding 458, I'm finding like weird crap. Not 6.5 is weird, but I'm finding some of that stuff just laying around. But I know that the manufacturers are tuned up to do 9mm, 5.56. They're not even going to do any 22 because it's not worth their time. But they're doing what sells, and it's 9mm and 5.56, 223. So I mean, I get it.
They're going to run the main calibers that they can get supplies for.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So,
and the ones that make them the most, profit, of course. So I did see a box of Lawman 124 grain going for $39.99, and it was FMJ, not even hollow points. And I was like, "Woo, that's pretty high." But
it's like you got to put yourself on an ammo budget, right? Like, and I've explained this to people. So a long time ago, I decided myself that I was going to buy a case a month, whatever it was. And then I would rotate. So this month I'd buy 9, next month I'd buy 5.56 or whatever. And I decided what I could cut out of my monthly expenditure to afford that. And what that allowed me to do was, by month 3, you've budgeted what you're going to shoot, what you're going to buy. So every month you start having a surplus of like 500 rounds, maybe 800 rounds. And once you do that for long enough, all of a sudden you have, which looks like I could fill an entire safe, with ammo right now. And that's, it's not because people are like, oh, I want to buy all this ammo because if I ever have to, World War III or whatever. No, I keep that much ammo because of what I do.
Yeah.
1, for a living, and 2, for the YouTube channel. I can't run out. I can't go dry.
Yeah.
If I go dry, the channel goes dry, and then I can't do anything. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Heck, we call that rat holing. Buy more than you shoot, so you can stockpile it back up. So. But and Daniel's saying 9mm box, $400. Hell, I've seen 9mm 1,000 rounds going for $570.
Over 5, man.
Yeah, $570, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely crazy.
Yeah.
All that money.
Yeah. What? Hang on. Yay Times is saying his son accidentally brought one to school. How do you accidentally bring it? What's he showing his ass? Is he goofing on us?
Brought what to school?
I guess he brought a gun to school. Yeah, not good.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yep. But yeah, what else has been going on with your channel? Anything fun and exciting? Got anything coming in?
Oh man, I just got like we kind of talked about a little earlier, bunch of SIG stuff, man. I did that M17 thing and it was all right. And then happened to luck into RXPX Carry, the law enforcement model. Somebody just had it for sale. I was like, I'll try that thing out. And then I found the RXPX full size, with the Romeo 1 Pros on it and stuff. That's been when I've shooting that, or that's been what I've been shooting for the past 3 weeks in all these training classes and instructor courses completely, is that full size one, man. And I got to say, it's won me over. I didn't think it was going to, because I've kind of joked around with SIG and I've owned them before, but I kind of make fun of them at the same time. So I've been doing a lot of stuff with SIGs. I got a ton of stuff in, from slides to barrels to some more optics from Swamp Fox, prism optics, pistol optics, bunch of stuff coming out. I think I just wrapped up. I want to say like 13 videos. Yeah. So for the past 3 days, man, I've just been editing and editing and editing to get all these videos ready, because the ranges are so tight right now that you can only get to ranges at certain times. So I have to shoot bunches of video in batches and then kind of edit them over time.
He's gone, guys. Yeah, that's that's what I used to do, is do a whole bunch of videos, or stuff that I was testing or that I had tested, and I'd do a bunch of videos and load them up and just release them at times. But yeah, since I've been so busy with work and all that other stuff, I haven't had a chance to get those going on. So
yeah, and you got to have a buffer. You got to have like a 2 or 3 week buffer, because I just got the thing for SHOT Show, if it's even going to happen.
Yeah.
But that's a week that you're going to be gone, and then your vacation is another week, so you have to plan to be like 3-4 weeks in advance on your videos.
Yeah, yeah, and like I was saying with SHOT Show, I seriously doubt every vendor is going to show up that normally would.
They're not,
because and then also people traveling like from really far away. I know you're closer, but people who are having to do a lot of flying or coming all over the place or all this other stuff, I just don't think they're going to show, or just not make this one, maybe do the next one.
So they may be quarantined. I mean, people, you're talking about Aimpoint's going to come in from Sweden.
Yeah. Exactly.
Are we going to quarantine them before and after? Like, what are we going to do? Or is COVID going to, or whatever? Yeah, I don't know if we can even say that on live streams. Is it going to disappear come, post-election, depending on who wins or whatever? So
yeah, who knows?
It's a big unknown. I hope it happens. I mean, I was supposed to go to the Iraq Veteran 888 shoot, and that got canceled.
Yeah.
Which I was like super looking forward to that, but got crapped on.
Yeah, I think a lot of those deals, and that's even like the SEMA and stuff like that. I don't know if they're even going to have it next year, and if they do, I don't know.
Done. SEMA's canceled already, man.
For the next one?
No, 2022.
Well, for 2022.
Oh, I don't know. 2021's canceled. SEMA's
no,
done.
I knew that. Yeah, no, it's already done and passed. No, I knew that it got canceled. I had to cancel a bunch of stuff that we had already set up, and then we set it up for 2022, but who knows what that's going to look like too.
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. It all depends on who freaks out, basically.
Yeah, hang on a second. I guess we got another troll. Sorry, guys. If we got trolls, point them out. I got 2 of them so far. I don't know what's going on with these freaking kids. They're probably little kids in here messing around, but
is there anything? I can't see the comments, so what are they doing?
Yeah, it's just dumb stuff like guns are bad and all this other crap. So
yeah,
but
not really. Only people are bad.
Yeah, the gun is the tool, just like a screwdriver or hammer.
Yeah, introduce a person, that's where things go south.
Yeah, but what do you think about them finding the Compton shooter? Did you hear about that?
I may have seen the actual canine takedown video.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they actually did it. For people that don't know out there, they did find him, and how they found him was he did a carjacking, stole a car. They chased him down, caught him, and on his way, he threw a gun out the window. And then they captured him. They picked up the gun, of course, and I guess they tracked the gun to the original shooting of the 2 police officers. So that's awesome. I'm glad they did that.
That canine yummed on him.
Yeah, Yeah, that's good. He needs to.
Yeah, you notice how that was real quiet though.
Yeah. Oh
That
yeah.
was real quiet.
Yeah.
So, and it's, I mean, and there's people that, some people are pro law enforcement, some people not law enforcement friendly, and then some people are just completely apathetic to it. But people don't realize, and this is the thing I always tell people, even like, I have friends that straight up just don't like cops. Like, so, and I grew up with these people, and I'm like, look, man, you don't have to like it. But what you have to understand is there's people out there that can't protect themselves. There's people out there that need help. And not only that, but who's going to investigate crimes when your daughter gets raped or somebody kills your family member? And I mean, I get it, and I don't really talk about a lot of that stuff much. So it's funny because, people say one thing or the other, or cops are power hungry, or, they're on the opposite end of the spectrum where they're like so pro law enforcement that they say, oh, they can do no wrong. Like, trust me, cops can do wrong.
Sure.
I have been the personal victim of police brutality. When I was a kid in high school, I got straight side handle baton trachea choked by a police officer. I mean, picked up off the ground. I was like 13 and choked almost to the point of unconsciousness at a football game by Phoenix PD. It is what it is. I've also seen all the other good stuff that can happen. And then that shooting in Phoenix a couple months ago where the dude answers his door with a gun and he goes to put the gun down and they start shooting at him because of just everything that was going on. So I grew up with that guy. I've known that guy for 30 years almost. So I get the whole disparity in where everything goes and comes from, but it's like a overall kind of societal structure thing. And you try to explain that to some people and they just don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had that happen to me when I was younger. I was in a parking lot. A bunch of us played football, and some of the baseball guys came over and they had their bat bags in the back, with their bats and stuff in it. So I pulled a bat out of the guy's trunk, and we were all friends. Pulled a bat out of his trunk, and they had these rocks in the parking lot. And so I'd pick up these rocks and I was smacking them across the parking lot. And there was no cars or anything there, but there was a bunch of guys in this parking lot. We used to, park in a parking lot and hang out, shoot the crap. And anyway, I was smacking rocks out into this damn field out there. And man, these cops just come swarming up. They jump out of their cars, they draw their guns on me. And I mean, they're just like, drop the bat, drop the bat. They thought I was going to attack these guys with a baseball bat.
Yeah,
and I was like, whoa, hey, I'm just hitting rocks. And they saw the rocks on the ground. And anyway, when we got it all talked out, they were like, hey, that's cool. Sorry, we had a report. I guess somebody saw a guy with a bat and he was swinging it. They couldn't see I was hitting rocks. I guess they just saw me swinging it around. I was like, if I meant to hit him, I'd hit him, so. But I mean, anything can happen, it's just, and in any job, I don't care if it's a cop or what it is, in any job, you're going to have some bad apples. So,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So you just got to, work through those guys, get those out of there, and then, move on. But, yeah, I've got, like I said, trying to get some more ammo just for the 300 Blackout. Get that thing going. I want to get it completely dialed in. I've been doing a lot of dry fire with it, playing around with it, testing an optic on it, a particular optic, and really have a good opinion of it. I haven't officially shot it yet, but I've got a really good opinion about it. And I will say this, it's coming up, but if you have astigmatism, it's something to consider on this particular one. So, and I have 2 stigmatisms, one in each eye. So it's definitely a little different, but there is something that can correct it other than just glasses. So I'll get into that too. So,
some kind of prism.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say a prism optic, or
no, it's not a prism optic. It's something else that can correct it. But yeah, it's man, what is going on? We're getting more and more. I don't think I've ever kicked out this many trolls. I don't know what is going on. Yeah, and even Screaming Skulls is saying he had his police draw their sidearms on him 3 times over the years. Twice they had the wrong guy, and once it was, or when I was 8 years old and someone thought my toy gun was real.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I've seen the guys with the airsoft guns and things like that, or the younger kids with
Yeah.
those, and especially if they pull the orange cap out of the end, sometimes you just they don't have any idea. So,
Yeah, no, and I was really, really new, and we got this call that there was people like running on the side of this house with guns. It was like, I was on graveyards. I think it was like 1 a.m. So we get there and we kind of silently set up a perimeter around this like neighborhood, and we go in and we see some people and they're dressed in like, all black. And then the one's got a rifle. We can't tell who they are, so we basically white light them. And, I've got my 10.5 inch with me, and we basically prone them out. And turns out to be a bunch of like 15, 16-year-olds out there playing airsoft games at like 1 a.m. And I'm looking at their airsoft guns and I'm like, dude, this thing is like really legit. And of course we call all their parents and stuff because it's this big ordeal in the neighborhood. People are freaked out. And I told the parents, I said, look, I'm totally okay with this stuff. I'm like, I think it's good that they're, out here having fun and doing things and all, but here's the problem. And I unload mine and I put them down on the hood. I said, tell me which one's my real gun and which one is your son's airsoft gun that he's out here running around with, pointing in people's windows.
Yeah.
And she couldn't tell the difference. I'm all, neither can somebody on the other side of the window in their home. I'm all, I get it. I'm all, we used to ride around shooting each other with BB guns, like real BB guns, right? I'm all, it's just a different place. And I'm like, you got to use it at the right place, the right time. I'm all, 1, 2 in the morning is not the right time to be running around a neighborhood greenbelt with these things that look real. Yeah. It's not a Nerf gun, it looks real.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. That's not a good thing. But and I was going to ask you, since we both do YouTube and things like that, and if you have a couple of them or whatever, just share them with people. What is the weirdest thing or the weirdest question, if there are some, the weirdest question that you've ever gotten?
Oh, related to like the 2A stuff?
Just anything.
Oh man. I've gotten that's a tough one to answer because you get some weird questions and you kind of got to try and determine whether it's somebody who just doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
For me, it's the legal questions. So I get questions all the time about, well, can I do this if this happens? I'm like, I can't answer that for you.
Yeah.
So I literally had somebody legitimately ask, if someone comes on my property, if I take action, as long as I drag their corpse inside the house, am I still okay? I'm like, 1, never tell that story to anybody else. Like 2, no, absolutely not. We're going to be able to tell what you did and where you did it. It's not difficult to figure that out.
Drag mark, give it away.
Yeah, I'll just drag it inside. I'm like, who told you that? I'm all, that's just stupid. You can't get away with that. I mean, maybe in the 50s when there was no such thing as like forensic evidence. I mean, now we can tell what you did.
Yeah. Ones I get all the time, and I don't know why people are so infatuated with it. It just kind of blows me away because, like, I know a bunch of other YouTubers and I know what they do for a living, because they've told me, but I don't just like on a video just go, what do you do for a living? But people, for some reason, they ask me that all the time. Like, what do you do? What do you do? And I'm like, I mean, I work, I just don't know why it's so, like, do you have to come on and do a video and like give a resume or something? It's just kind of weird. I don't know what that has to do with anything. And then I've had a bunch of people say that I spend too much on guns, because I'll have, I don't know, 3 or 4 high-end guns. And they're like, that costs more than my car. Why do you have that? That's stupid. And I'm like,
they're angry because they can't.
I mean, it might be stupid to you, but I kind of do what I want. So, no, I'm actually in, I make movies. I'm in the adult industry. So that's what I do.
Yeah, no, I think the people asking like, what do you do, is because they're seeking some form of like credentialing. And when people do that, I'm kind of like, hey, look, if that's like looking for the guy that's wearing the red shirt that says instructor across it on the range. Yeah. That is probably the person I take the least seriously when I go to the range.
But I mean,
and-
I always tell people, like, you know, I'm not a trainer. I never claimed to be. I mean, I've said that in numerous videos. I'm like, this is what I do, you know, because I've had people say, hey, you know, do an instruction video. And I'm like, no, because I'm not an instructor. You know, I'm not going to pretend that I'm something that I'm not. That's not what I do. You know, I go and shoot. I have fun. I do my own thing. What you want to do is what you want to do. But it's not anything with that. It's just like, what do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? You know, how do you afford this? How do you buy these? How do you do? And I'm like, I work, you know, I don't see what the big thing is.
Well, and they might be trying to see if you got it for, you know, sent to you for free or something, because that's a big thing too. Because anytime you're reviewing something or talking about something, the audience wants to know, are you being paid by the company, or did you get this for free, or
Yeah.
you know,
And
like
I've said numerous times, you know, I bought this or I had this sent in, you know, like a holster or something like that. But,
Mhm.
you know, if it's like a $3,000 gun, I don't know where they're passing out $3,000 guns, but I need to go there.
Well, I know where they are, but they're just not going to give it to me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm just going to say, you know, I'm not going to say, hey, give me a $3,000 gun, and I'm going to say it's the best thing since sliced bread. You know, I would tell you if I like it or not, but I haven't got any offers. I've had offers for people to send me, you know, guns and things like that for reviews and send them back and all this other stuff. And if it's a gun that I'm really, really interested in, you know, I might say, yeah, but most of the ones that have hit me up and asked me, you know, hey, we want to send you this gun. Would you review it? If it's something that I'm truly not interested in, that I would never consider owning, you know, because if they do send the gun, you have the opportunity to purchase it. But if I'm not interested at all, I'm just like, nah, that's not my cup of tea, you know. So, because I've had some reach out with, you know, budget type guns to review them, and I'm like, nah, I appreciate it though. Thank you very much for thinking of me, but that's not me. And there's nothing wrong with those. It's just not what I would depend. I just don't want to do a review if it's something I don't believe in, or if, you know, there could be maybe some issues there, or, you know, from reputations of other videos, you know, that people have done, if there's issues with them, I just don't want to, I don't want to mess with that personally.
Yeah, no, because your name is stuck to it.
Yeah. Well, like I've said in numerous videos, the only thing you have to your name is your name. You know, all the other stuff can go away or you can lose it, but you can't lose your name.
Yeah,
even when you die, it's on your headstone or it's on the box that your ashes are in or whatever. So,
right. Yeah. No, you ain't lying, man.
Yeah. But there's people that'll be like, oh, hell yeah, this gun is super, super great. And I'm like, dude, that gun's a piece of shit. You know, that thing, you know, I mean, or on the video, you can watch them shooting it and it has, you know, it has like a failure or something, or they're like, and they're trying to compensate for it. It's like, dude, man, we know you're getting a free gun. Who gives a shit? But just say, hey, this thing failed or that failed. Don't try to hide it.
Getting a free Kel-Tec.
Yeah. Oh, and there was one video, and I'm not going to say who it was, but the guy was shooting it, and it was a rifle. Bang, bang, bang. He's like, oh, this thing's so freaking accurate. Didn't show his targets or anything. The freaking scope was on backwards. The scope was on backwards. And I'm like, And it's a very, very well-known YouTuber. Very well-known. I'm like, how the hell is this thing accurate? He didn't show his, you know, targets, but the scope was actually on backwards.
Well, that was like range day at SHOT Show this year, so in January. Everybody's there with their cameras and their media people, and I'm watching some social media people on the range, and they're doing something and then talking to the camera, and I'm like, you didn't even hit the target. You basically shot into the berm, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like I said, there's people that are going to do that. And I'm not trying to bash anybody or beat anybody up, but you know, if you're going to give a fair, honest review, I mean, you know, at least shoot it to where your scope is on correct, or hit the target, or maybe show your groups. I mean, I always try to pull mine in and show the groups, you know, unless it's like 100 yards out there or 1,500 yards out there or something like that. But I mean, I don't know, you know, if you don't show it, you didn't do it. That's kind of the way I look at it. So,
yeah, and it depends. Like, I haven't done a whole lot of like accuracy type videos. I've done some with the LPVOs and stuff, and I'll usually post pictures of the targets and things. But generally, when you're shooting an LPVO, it's, you know, out there. So walking the camera out there, and I know some people do that, and it's a big thing. But
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to stuff like that, it's like, you know, accuracy is at the end user most times.
Yeah.
So
And,
I'm
you know,
not
there's people,
I'm not the best with magnified optics. I mean, I know guys that can shoot. I have friends that can shoot. They do the king of 2 miles.
yeah.
I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
That's not me.
Yeah. I mean, hell, I just went 1,200 yards for my very first time in my whole entire life. And prior to that, I think my farthest was like 450 yards. And at 1,200 yards, I hit it the very first time, hit it at 1,000 yards the first time, 1,100 yards first time, 1,200 yards the first time. And then my buddy was like, let's take it out to 1,600. At 1,600, I was all around it. Now, this was with the 338 Lapua. So, you know, I was all around it, and I was like, damn it, you know, and the wind was just, I mean, you can watch the video, the freaking wind was just whipping. And I was just like, and he was giving me the calls and everything. And I'm not a sniper. I never claimed to be, you know, I was just lucky I hit the damn thing. But, you know, the guys that go out and they do, you know, like they'll put targets, like, or put the cameras at like 200 yards, 300 yards. I know Coda Boy's really good about it. You know,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
he does it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome, you know, that you're going to be able to do that. I know he's got like tons of those like little, forget the names of them, but they're not the GoPro, but it's another brand. But, you know, he puts them all out there and stuff, and he's got to spend the time to go put them in the ground to do all that. And that's really cool. But, you know, for one, I don't shoot long range enough, you know, to personally go do that. But, and I've even seen, I saw one guy put his phone like up on the moving target, you know, in an indoor range. You know, and then his phone fell. It fell off of that little bracket, and they had to stop everybody from shooting, and he had to go out there and get his phone. So I'm just like, I'm not really going to do all that, you know. But I try to, you know, always show my work, you know. And I'm not the best shooter in the world, and never claim to be.
No, good hits. I'm concerned about good hits, man.
Yeah. Guy comments asking, do you use a spotting scope on the rifle range, Big J? When I went, my buddy has a Swarovski. It's like a freaking $6,000 spotting scope.
Big money. Swarovski.
Oh yeah. No, he's got like AI 338 Lapua. It's like $15,500. This rig is. Yeah, he's got a high dollar spotting scope. It'll go out to like past 2,000 yards. So we were using his spotting scope. It wasn't my personal one, and I don't own one. I've got a laser rangefinder where I can, you know, see how far it is, but I don't have a spotting scope personally.
Yeah, I don't either, merely for the fact that most of the times if I'm shooting that far, my buddy's got one, and I don't typically shoot far enough on my own where I can't see my shot through the optic I'm using. So,
yeah.
So I mean, that's just me, but.
Yeah, and the same buddy sent me a text today.
Hey, you got to handle for a sec. Someone's dropping off a delivery now, and it might be that ammo.
Okay. All right. Yeah, a buddy of mine sent me a text today and said he has two new beauties coming in tomorrow. And I was like, oh, what'd you get? And it's the same guy that's got the awesome rifles and all that stuff. And he has two Athena, which are Atlas Athenas, coming in tomorrow. They're both optic ready. One is stainless steel with the black new grip, and the other one is black with the new grip, and he's going to have it tin coated on the barrel, and the controls are going to be tin coated, so it kind of have that gold accent look to it. So they're freaking pretty nice. But hopefully I'll get to shoot those this weekend. They're not my guns, but hopefully I'll get to shoot those this weekend. But that's pretty awesome. So they are beautiful guns. He just got them. He's getting them in. Yep, two Athena, and they are cut for for optics. So they come with the optic cover plate for the slide and the optic mounting plate. So I'm just like, damn, those guns are beautiful. So that thing, they're pretty awesome. So, but he's got some very nice guns. Dan Wesson in New York. You know, honestly, I don't know where Dan Wesson is. That's weird that you asked that. Oops, hang on. I don't know, Virgil. I don't know where Dan Wesson is. I know that they, you know, we're with CZ now. I don't know if they're in New York. I don't know. Maybe they used to be, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. And I don't have a Dan Wesson where I could look at it and see. So maybe you have to Google that one. I'm not sure. Let's see here. CZ Shadow is saying he wants to seen that, please. Are you talking about the Athenas? Because if I, hopefully I'll get to shoot them this weekend, and I'll probably do some filming with it. I have shot Atlas before. It was no. I have not shot an Atlas before. The one that I shot was a not an Atlas. It was a oh crap. What's the other name of that high-end maker? An Akai. I've shot an Akai. I've shot some Infinities, things like that, but I have not shot an Atlas yet. So I'm pretty excited about trying one of those. So was that your goodies?
There's nothing more disappointing than thinking your ammo shipment's coming and it's another piece of little decoration that your wife ordered.
Oh, man, I get that stuff
So
all the time.
we have like just because, so my wife owns a personal training company, which has been shut down, right? Because of all this stupid stuff our governor decided to do. So I'm building a massive steel building out back, which is now going to be the hot rod shop. And then the attached garage, it's just under 1,000 square foot garage attached to the house. That's now going to be a commercial gym. So we've got so much stuff going on around here right now. It's just a freaking mess, and all this stuff coming in, and treadmills and commercial gym equipment. And it's a pain in the butt, dude. But it'll be good in the end, but it's a lot right now.
Yeah. I just finished a big project in the backyard with a bunch of contractors and stuff, and I'm freaking glad that's over, man. Yes, it looks like Dan Wesson LZ USA is in New York, so that's cool. But dealing with the contractors and stuff, because they had to move sprinklers and valves and all this other stuff. So I had valves that weren't working and all this other stuff. And I'm not even, I'm mechanically inclined, but I'm not a sprinkler guy. And I was looking at the valve and stuff because he took it off, and I was like, man, it's got all that glue rammed in it, that you put the PVC together.
Yeah.
I was like, all that glue's all jammed up in there. So you took a hole that's this big, and now you've made it to where I can't even put my pinky through it. So I think that could be a problem. And they're like, oh no, that's normal. Come to find out that after they had a specialist come out, that was the problem. And I'm like,
yeah, that's not normal.
I'm like, guys, you can't take something this big and then make it that small and it's still going to work correctly. So yeah, didn't even have enough volume to push through to raise up the sprinkler head. So now that's fixed, but my backyard has been a freaking nightmare. I mean, it's just been torn up. Had a big, huge patio poured and an extension added. And then they had a cold joint in it, and it looked like a dead body was drug across it after it dried. And I'm like, oh, you're going to have to tear that out of here. So then they had to demo all of that, haul it out of here, then re-pour it. I'm just like, oh, golly.
That's right. You told me about that last time.
Yeah. Not good. So I'm glad it's finally done. They just finished it, I think, Monday officially. So
I'm curious, have you seen?
Go ahead.
Sorry, Matt. I thought you were done. I was gonna change topics. Have you seen a difference in training, like some of the bigger known training companies? Have you seen like prices kind of going up?
Yeah, you're talking about for pistol training and rifle training and stuff like that? Yeah. Yeah, I have. And then I've actually seen a couple of them come down. So that probably means less people. For the big guys, they could probably demand a higher price, but some of the newer ones, they've lowered the price probably to capture some of the guys that have raised their price. Saying, hey, come to me, I'm offering this special. So yeah, I have seen that. And of course with ammo, like, even like with USPSA, even myself, I would love to go shoot a match, but to go out and waste, 300 rounds or whatever, shooting paper just for fun, it's like, I think I could use that 300 rounds better. And I'm not saying that that's bad. USPSA is fun, but I'm thinking I could use that, with my regular training, just for being proficient and stuff for self-defense. I could use it more useful, or find it more useful for me using it elsewhere.
I had one of the training classes I was in last week. One of the instructors Really legit guy. Was a handler, canine handler in the military, multiple. I think he did like a total of 6 deployments, a lot of engagement experience, and he still trains a lot because if you don't know, instructors generally go to training all the time. They should, because things change, you learn things. You know, you can't just stay still, right? So he I'm not going to say who. He goes to this training program with this guy, and he's really excited because it's a big name out there, and he was like, oh, it's going to be good, you know, probably learn a couple little tidbits, make me better. And during the training course, the instructor, the lead guy, is like, oh, hey, I got like 10-minute break, I got to go, like, you know, answer social media or do whatever on social media. An hour later, dude hits the range again, and this guy is like, he literally beefs him on it right in front of the class and says, hey, I'm paying you to be here to train me, not to answer social media questions. And the guy was like, yeah, no, it just is what it is. And I'm like, well, that was the answer he gave you? I'm like, all right, I'll remember that.
Yeah, that's kind of like paying my attorney by the hour, and he goes, you know, and does something else for 2 hours and bills me for 2 hours. It's like, nah, that doesn't work.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta
you're gonna be working on my crap. Yeah, you're gonna be working on my crap for that. Yeah, and I mean, I think if somebody like completely does something, you know, I mean, even in videos, I think if somebody does something completely like, you know, the guy with the scope backwards that I was talking about and things like that, I mean, they need to be called out for it, because it's like, man, you know, come on now. People are trusting that you're doing the correct thing. And I'm not saying everybody's perfect, because I know I'm not.
Yeah.
But if it's something just belligerent, you know, just totally crazy, you know, they need to be called out for it. So I don't find, especially if you know, on YouTube, you're not even spending anything to watch a video, but you know, if you're at a class or doing something else, yeah, you need to be calling people out for that. I would.
Yeah, so, no, that's the thing. I will. I got no problems. I mean, my meat and potatoes doesn't depend on YouTube or social media. I will bust people out. That's like, you know, the past year, like this year, before the whole cough thing, my plan was to go and I was going to hit several different training companies, and it started last October with going to Mike Levy's class, his combat pistol class out in California, the Knockout Lights guy. $250, man. If you can get to that guy for that price, do it. And then I was supposed to go to a couple other places, but all that changed once everything happened. And then the other one that I missed was Kawa, Too Alpha to Quit. Yeah. You know, getting to those guys just because, you know, just the friends I still have. If you know, there's people that I trust that speak highly of certain people that I'm willing to go spend money on, and those were a couple of the names that came up, and then several other names too. And I really wanted to get a video series going this year, but it just got so messed up because people just a lot of times just don't know who to go to for what level.
Yeah.
And there's people out there that only teach at certain levels. You know, you're not going to be a intro to pistol guy and go to certain people. They're going to kick you out of the class.
Yeah.
And I've seen that. I've seen people show up completely unprepared for like a true like CQB SWAT school, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm here, and they've like legitimately never handled a gun before. It's like, you're gone, dude. And by the way, we're keeping your money, you know.
Yeah, that's like Jedi. You know, Jedi's doing a class. I think he was doing it today and maybe tomorrow, and I would have loved to have gone to that class, but man, right now with work and all the ammo stuff, I'm just like, you know, I'll hold on that. But yeah, somebody was asking if they can see these. There's the 2 Atlases, his brand new Atlases that he just got. And the black one will have a 10 coat barrel and 10 coat.
Isn't that what Tony Cowden's running? He's running a lot of Atlas.
He's running, well, now he's running a Bull Armory.
A Bull Armory. Bull Armory, that's right.
Yeah, Bullets and Beards, and like Joe, I forget his last name, but he's a police officer too in Florida. But he runs Atlases. But yeah, they're awesome guns.
They look nice, man.
Yeah, they're super, super nice. But yeah, they're like, I think, you know, between $500 and $7,500 per gun.
Honda Civics, bro. They're as much as a Honda Civic.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. I had, you know, the one guy that made the comment. I had the Shadow 2 out here, and I had the TSO, and I had a 45 and stuff. And he's like, "Man, those 3 guns cost more than my car." I'm like, "You need to get a better job." So, but Yeah, and Daniel was saying his church is building a range, at his church, and that's awesome, man. It's really awesome. All
No,
right.
that's outstanding, man.
Yeah, let's see here. Kyle is asking Big Johnson Guns and Gear on occasional competition to test your training under pressure situations, let you see where you may need to improve in case the poo hits the fan. Yeah, that's true. No, it is. And also when you go to the range, using a shot timer and things like that, and I'm guilty of that sometimes, not breaking out the shot timer for sure. But the shot timer can keep you going too. So even on your own, if you can't get to a competition, the shot timer's definitely worth the money.
One of the best things that people can do, and I advise this to anybody who's at past beginner level, anybody whose safety is really dialed in. If you really want to test your skill, your ability to control your body, is run 100, 200 meters in, do some push-ups, do some jumping jacks, and then draw and shoot at a target 10 yards. Do it from 10 yards, and you will see what your body does and how you have to control things and change things. It's like the shooting packages and the stress shoots we used to do when I was in the special ops is you figured out really quickly doing quarter-mile runs into an objective, breaching, shooting, transitioning, climbing up a tower. Your body does weird things. That's something to work up to, but even just minimal levels of physical activity to get that heart rate up, and you will be able to really dial yourself in if you practice at it.
Yeah. At Crossfire, back when I was at Crossfire, they had a deal where you could go in and they would, it's kind of like a stress workout. They would, make you run on a treadmill, make you lift some weights, and then run in and do it. I mean, like your hands, especially if you're shooting like carry optics, man, your hands are, you can see your dot just moving around, and it's crazy. So yeah, you get that heart rate up and all kinds of stuff kick in.
And that's what adrenaline is going to do. That is the closest thing you'll get to that burst of adrenaline.
Yeah. Yeah. Anytime you can get that up, that's definitely a different thing. Let's see here. Better job. How about an education too? Yeah. Yeah. I guess Romans is saying better job, laugh out loud. How about an education too? College much? Yeah. Well, and I'll even say this, you don't have to have college to get, good qualified jobs. You don't have to, if you know a good trade or even go to a trade school or something like that, whatever the field you choose, or if you get it, start young and, work maybe for an apprenticeship or something like that. I've got people that have done that too under me, and, they work up and they know what they're doing and they get paid for what they do. So,
trades are a dying art, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
go have somebody paint your hot rod for you $30,000 later.
Yeah.
Tell me they're not making $150 an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, and even working on the newer cars and, even restoring older cars. And that I've restored cars before too in the past. And, that is a dying art too. Not a lot of people can restore a car. Now they can make it look ghetto, but if you're doing a ground up true restoration, it's a whole different ball game. And then working on all the computerized cars now. I mean, I actually know, because I'm an ex-technician myself, I know people, Mercedes technicians and stuff like that are literally making like $35 an hour, and these guys are killing it. So
yeah.
It just depends on what you want to do. I didn't want to turn wrenches my whole life and things like that. So there's ways to work up from that too. So I always look at it this way, if you can better yourself some way and learn something every single day, it just makes you a better person, makes you more valuable. And hell, I know a welder. This guy's
I was gonna say welding.
Yeah, I know a welder,
especially
and this guy
underwater welding.
Yep.
Good Lord, big money. Money.
He does oil piping and stuff like that, and this guy's doing very, very well. And what's funny? He's I think he's about 32 years old. Owns his home, owns brand new cars. I mean, doesn't know a car payment, doesn't know a house payment, and
if you can do an overhead vertical stick weld, you're gonna make money. You're gonna make money.
Yeah. It's funny. Check this out. I made this. I don't know if you can see it. See that jet?
Yeah.
You know what it's made out of?
coat hanger,
No, it's actually made out of stick.
welding rod. It made a
Welding
stick
stick,
weld.
welding rods. The whole
Okay.
jet
Did you
is.
TIG it? Did you TIG
Yep.
it or did you? Yeah.
No, it's stick weld. I did it
Okay.
way back in welding, back when I was like 18 years old.
Yeah, I was gonna say because of all the Intel plants in Arizona and all the technology plants and all that, if you can do stainless steel, especially medical field stainless steel welding, I'm talking like super thin, like 16th inch. I mean, those guys make big dollars, man. The aerospace welders,
No.
they make money, man.
You know what's funny is I know a guy, he does arc, he does TIG, he does everything. And this is the kid I'm talking about. He actually can cut a beer can completely apart perfectly. He can stick that, weld that thing back together perfectly, and you can fill it all the way up, it won't leak. I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's freaking impressive, because you got to control the heat, when you're that thin in aluminum. I mean, this guy is a freaking master. And his welds are perfect. Didn't have the Gorilla Weld with pieces stuck in it and all that crap. No, this guy
doing that stitch work with the.
Yeah, this guy is definitely a master, man. I'm just like,
I'm
man.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're good at a trade, I know electricians. I mean, man, that's what makes the world work, man. You got to have people like that, and God bless them, man. That's what makes it all roll.
My father ran a construction company, man. So I grew up doing all that stuff, and he always used to tell me, he says, there's certain things that won't go away. It's stuff like this. He's like, because remember, best thing to a plumber, and what they'll tell you is their shit's our bread and butter.
Yeah.
Plumbing
Well,
toilets,
what's funny
man.
is, when I did had all the construction done in the backyard and stuff, I had one of the guys' trucks here, and his truck wouldn't start when he was trying to leave, and it was a diesel and everything. And he's like, man, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna have to call a tow truck. And I was like, how much you gonna knock off my bill? He's like, what? It's like, I can fix it for you. And he's like, kind of looked at me funny. He didn't know what I did or anything or what I've done. And I was like, I can fix it for you. And he goes, you can? It literally took me less than 15 minutes to fix his truck. It was running perfect. And he's like, man, it's never started that quick. It's never done this. And I was like, he goes, what'd you do? And I said, I'm not going to tell you. But I said, you better help me out on that bill. So, there's things that can help you in this world if you know it. And that's like, I've talked about before. If you can't change a flat tire and you can't jump start a car and you can't do some of these things, and you're a grown ass man, or even a young man that's driving, or even a young lady, it's always good to know how to change a tire and just do basic stuff. And like I'm not trying to steal, Max or what's his name? McNamara stuff, but it's basic dude stuff, or basic woman stuff. You kind of got to know how to do some of that stuff.
Nah, and you do, man. That's one of the things. Like my wife, she's like, "Oh, this happened." I'm like, "Okay, I'll fix it." Microwave run. Okay, I'll go buy one and put it in. She's like, "How do you know how to do all this stuff?" I'm all, because my grandfather and my father taught me things. Yeah. They taught me how to build a house, run a tractor, do electrical work, all that stuff that, like, I mean, and I'm a millennial. I mean, and it's weird when I have friends that say, "Hey, my toilet's running." I'm all, "Did you replace the flapper? What's that?" I'm all, "It's a little thing that goes up and down. It's a chain."
Yeah. And yours is like hung up, or it's sucked down in there, or warped or something. I'm like, that's like a 5-second fix and about a $4 part,
Yeah.
And I know people that call people to change light bulbs.
$100. Like,
really?
$100, man.
Yeah. I'm like, really, man? You're paying for that? I'm like, come on. And one guy, he's a friend of here. He's a family friend, but he's got really, super vaulted ceilings. We got some high ceilings too, but I'm like, we got some tall ladders. But he's like, I can't change that light bulb up there. And I'm like, they make these sticks that grab them and you just turn them. And he's like, what? I've never seen one of those. And I Googled it and sent it to him. And he's like, well, I'm ordering one off Amazon. And I'm like, God dang, dude, man. I'm like, it's not rocket science, man. Figure it out. But
yeah.
Takes all kind. But I mean, we're getting closer. Actually, we're a little over. But if anybody has any last minute questions or anything like that, please hit us up. We'd love to answer them. And, if there's anything that you're thinking about, this gun or that gun or this or that, let us know. We'll stay on about another 5 or 10 minutes and try to answer some questions. So please, I know we haven't answered a lot of questions this evening, but like I said, it's always a treat to have Tactical on. and get different insight. So, and also just kind of shoot the crap. Always good stuff there. But if you got some questions, let us know. But what do you have coming up? Any, I know you said you made like 13 videos or something, but with some big stuff, if you want to share it, what do you got coming up?
Yeah, no, I got so for SIG stuff, I've got the P80 Gripen. I've got some barrels that haven't been released yet from some companies for the SIGs. Some Grego stuff for the SIGs, Live Free Armory, SIG slides. Some Springfield stuff, Hellcat, the optics ready, the Saint rifle. Swamp Fox, the new Liberator optic they put out, one of their prism scopes that they put out, and good Lord, a couple actual SIG pistols, the RXP carry, the RXP full size, the RXP X carry, RXP X full size. I've got both of those coming, and then some more magwells and stuff like that. So Overwatch just came out with their Gen 5 magwell, which a lot of people have been waiting for. I got that coming real soon. I just released the Factor magwell video yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. So I got just a slew of stuff coming. And then in the works, I'm working with a couple companies right now, just kind of seeing how things are going to work out as far as some CZ triggers, some more Glock triggers, AR triggers. There's just, everything's like a waiting game right now because everybody's sold out of everything. So
yeah, I've got some cool stuff being built right now. However, it's been built or being built. We're still waiting on parts for over 4 months. But I'm super excited about it. It's going to be freaking awesome. I've got a 300 blackout that I've had for 3 months, and it's not just an average one. It's a POF Renegade Plus. It's all ambi. It's all tricked out, and it is burnt bronze. So it pictures up on Instagram if you want to see it, and it's pretty awesome. I've got some optics that I've been testing, and again, I've been doing a lot of dry fire testing with it. Up, just straight ups and stuff like that. Taking it out of the backyard. Running all over the place, dry firing it, stuff like that. And it's pretty awesome. There's some issues, but it's not with the optic. It's with me, and I'll go over that in the video. I think it'll be pretty interesting because it could be affecting some of y'all also. Let's see here. I've got the Harry's holsters. I've been playing with those, and they are awesome. If y'all are interested, I've got the video out on that. You can check them out. Lynx Defense. It's got the new bag out, the Concord, and that thing is a freaking beast. I love it, man. I've got it. So I did a video on it too. If you want to check it out, everything that's in my range bag, it's pretty damn loaded up. And I've got some other stuff I've been testing. I'll eventually get videos on it. Usually I put them on Instagram and throw them out there, just, showing, hey, I'm testing it, checking it out. So y'all can check us out over there. And of course, if you haven't checked out Tactical Considerations on Instagram, please do. If you haven't subscribed to him on his YouTube channel, please do. He's a good guy, friend of the show. We always enjoy having him. And here's a funny question. What is the best way to remove wheel weights when you're in a Walmart parking lot? Daniel, it depends on the slot size of the wheel. So when you're going to attack a wheel, you can use a putty knife. So you can stick a putty knife in there and you can pop them right off if the tape on wheel weights. Those are the easiest ways to get them. And a little trick you can do with the stick on wheel weights, if you want to make your gun heavier, and I've said this before, you can actually take the little zinc wheel weights, the stickies on them, and you can roll them out with a heavy duty rolling pin. You can make them flat and you can actually wedge them inside the frames. And if you want to make your gun heavier, or you can do easier than that. Just go to Discount Tire and say, hey, I need some wheel weights. They'll hand them to you, and they have the brand new tape on them, and you can roll them out, stick them in your gun, do what you want, and that's for free. So, yeah, we always appreciate everyone being on. Appreciate your questions. If you have any questions after the chat, please leave them. I'll answer them. If Tactical wants to jump in on those, he's more than welcome to also. Always a pleasure to have you on here, Tactical. We appreciate it so much. 17's out this evening. He's still dealing with the house, so I'll be running these, and when he's back on, he'll jump back on, but we'll try to get some guests in here and keep everybody happy. But I appreciate you being on, sir, this evening. It means a lot. So stay in touch, and if y'all need anything, please let us know. Everyone have a great night.
Yeah, good night, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Carry on.